Hello, core keepers. This will be my first video on the subject of a game that I have been incredibly addicted to for, say, the last 150 hours that I've spent into this game. If you're watching this, it's probably because you're interested in learning how to effectively use magic, which is kind of an underrated skill tree or profession in this game, because it does take some investment. Now, if you're here because you watch our other videos, you're probably going to be wondering why we're talking about Corekeeper and not, say, Nike or Roblox. Well, the thing is, this video is going to be about big crits and not big. So without further ado, let's look at the basics of a mage build. Here I've assembled all of the items that I feel are worth noting. We have the basic weapons, and we have some rings, and some necklaces, and some offhand options that you can equip yourself to give you the biggest mana pool. Because without mana, you're really not doing much. And if you run out of mana, well then you're kind of defenseless, and you might get yourself killed. So, first thing that we're going to look at here is our pet. Now, the movement speed is there, and it's important because the mage build is typically pretty slow. So we're going to counter that with a pet that gives us a lot of movement speed. And here I'm just going to organize some things real quick. There we go. So we have a beginner set on the left, and we have a more advanced set on the right, depending on where you are in the game. You know, you're not going to have access to the best stuff right out of the gate. I'm just going to organize these weapons here, and I'm ordering them, say, in the typical way that you're going to find them as you progress through the game. Yeah, apparently I'm very, very bad at organizing. But we'll stop tinkering in a second here. Alright, so the Sorcerer Hood gives us good magic, decent amount of health. Same with the robe, and then with the pants. And then you can do extra damage depending on how much mana you have left in your reserves. So right now I have 129. Then we have the Arcane Monk blindfold, the headgear, and then we have the Arcane Monk cloak, and then we finally have the leggings. These are all fully upgraded, by the way. Now, the glow tulip ring is something you can build at your crafting station. Same with the crystal necklace, but it's not that great for a mage build. I prefer this necklace, which gives us more crit chance. You could also equip this offhand weapon, gives you crits. This is my lantern. You can get that from crafting, I believe. And then we have the tome. Again, you can craft it yourself right from your main base. Now, this is the scholar staff. It's dropped by the same ones that drop the scholar set. So sorcerers that you find in the sunken sea. The skimtar, I believe, is just dropped from mobs that you find in the desert. Now the arcane staff you get from one of the bosses that you can farm until it eventually drops, like I had to. And this is the unupgraded version. And then there's a simple staff that I fully upgraded for just for funsies. You can find that in crates, just hanging out. Just wooden crates that you break in the beginning biomes. So, what does this mean? It means that you're going to need some magic levels. And here you can see me using a materializer and some stone shrooms, because your magic level will go up based on how much you hit something. Not how much damage you do, not how many kills you make with it, but just how much you can hit it. And your magic level will increase. So here we have some stone shrooms that are unable to reach me, and I can just power through the levels until I have to repair my staff. Now, it's also important to note that if you have any boss skills or talents, you're going to want to turn those off, except for, say, the tornado. Because otherwise you'll kill things much faster, or you'll destroy your setup, like I do later on in this video. So you want to avoid doing that. And you can just, rubber band your controller if you're playing on Xbox like I am with Game Pass. Here we're going to demonstrate how you can get yourself an arcane staff. And I'm going to switch to my Mage build. And then we're going to spawn in Gorm the Devourer. Real easy to do. He's going to take about 1 second to kill. Maybe not even a second. And here I'm going to demonstrate that you can in fact get an arcane staff. It might take a while, but you can get one. Now I'm going to show you where near an endgame area where you can get yourself another magic weapon. The name escapes me right now. I'll probably come back and edit this later. Now, I'm not a big fan of this particular staff because it's unpredictable. It just kind of does whatever it wants, the Chaos Staff. Pretty easy to get at the end game. So, I went back home thinking, you know what, let's try to farm some magic levels with this new staff. And we shoot a bubble, we shoot a void, and now we shoot a fireball that ricochets and destroys my auto farm.
Surprise, motherfucker!
So moving on from that embarrassing debacle, we're going to demonstrate how much damage you can do with your little magic skills. So here we're using the arcane staff that's fully upgraded, and you can easily farm yourself the corekeeper. Now I'm going to demonstrate that you can use the arcane staff, and again, easily kill the corekeeper. Now the Skimtar was a little bit more difficult because it actually does suck up a lot of mana depending on how fast you have your attack speed. And here we're going to use a upgraded version of the most basic staff in the game. Again, it's not as fast as, say, the arcane staff. I'm going to use the arcane staff here that's not even upgraded in case you don't have the resources to do it, and demonstrate that again you can easily kill the corekeeper. But you might be asking yourself, big deal, the corekeeper's, he's not that tough. And then especially if you farm him a lot, you know his attack patterns, you know how to avoid getting hit, and you know that it's not really that difficult to fight for the end boss. Now I was just minding my business, putting along in the passageway when the screen starts shaking and I realize, hey, I'm going to get attacked by this boss's name. It's long and drawn out. I might edit the name in later. But anyways, I was pretty unprepared for this actually. My pet isn't even maxed out, so my movement speed is way below where it should be for running away from Urklum, we'll call him. But I just wanted to, stick it out, prove that my mage build is decent enough to easily take this guy down without too many problems. And if you fought this guy before, you know that you have to do this 4 times. So this is going to be the 3rd time that I halt his progress. Make sure you have to kill these eyeballs pretty quickly because otherwise you're going to get run over. So you can see me running for my life here. And then I just stop and I pop. And then we're going to go ahead and drop his HP down again. So we're going to have to do it one more time. And he's getting faster every time. So here I'm just throwing shots into the wind, hoping that I hit something. Because if I don't kill these eyeballs quickly, he will run me over. And he almost does a couple of times. So I'm not gonna lie, this was a little stressful. But I'm playing on normal mode and not hardcore mode. So if I die, I just die. But I don't. I take him down. And arguably another one of the tougher bosses is the Atlantean Worm, which I'm summoning in here. Now, again, this is a more difficult fight than, say, it needs to be because of my just lack of landing shots. But the damage that I'm doing when I do land my shots is pretty high. I'm getting lots of crits, and even at some points, I think I even run out of mana despite having the proper gear on, because I'm just firing so many shots that aren't landing. And with the mage build that I'm using, it's kind of relying on crit to give you back that the MP that you use when you're firing all these shots. So if you don't land your shots, you're not getting your MP back, and you can potentially run out of mana. Like I do, I'm pretty sure, at some point in this fight. But this is just to demonstrate that the build that I'm using is good enough to kill basically any boss. Now, starting out, you're probably not going to be farming the Atlantean worm, but you could potentially farm, say, the Hive Mother or any of the slime bosses and the Hydras, for example. So, at this point, we're nearing the end of the video. I just wanted to thank you for watching. I had a lot of fun making this video, put a lot of work into it, so consider subscribing. Because if the interest is there, I would honestly love to keep talking about this game for another 10-minute video. So if you have any questions, put them in the comments below. If you have any comments about how bad I am at the game, that'd be fine too. We'll see you next time.